You have one, fantastic.
And I signed up for the road trip.
Yes, absolutely.
I haven't heard back yet.
Which car do you drive?
Tesla.
Oh, wow. Excellent. So yeah, definitely join us. Will you be in touch? Okay. We'll talk after this. Who else has an electric car?
We probably want to this presentation.
Not yet, yes.
Okay, great. Hi everyone. My name is Ben Cullen, and I'm the founder and managing director of the global electric vehicle road trip movement.
And I'm Bea Ashman. I'm the business development manager for Nino, for Global EDRT.
My name is Sophie Saddon. I'm the event and content director for Global EDRT. So Global Electric Vehicle Road Trip has the mission to accelerate a transition to a lower carbon economy. We do this by putting on exciting road trips using, of course, electric cars, and along the way, spreading awareness of cleaner and more sustainable living.
I won't go into too much detail about the electric vehicle road trip. We'll just tell you a bit about our journey and how we arrived at this point, working towards this mission. So I am from England. I studied my bachelor's in business and economics, and then I did my master in energy management. And it was during that period for me that I started to become aware of the issues of sustainability and actually general macro and mega trends at the time. So sustainability, climate change, resource depletion, and pollution. So for me at that time when I was doing my bachelor's, I just made a commitment that I would only work in business that has a positive impact on people, on the planet, and on profit. Because I just thought, why not? I mean, we are the generation that can do that, and I really want to be pushing forward in an industry that's doing good things. So I came to Dubai as a tourist in 2014. I attended the Smart City conference held at the Emirates Towers. That was my first taste of Dubai and the Middle East. And I was really impressed by what the government was doing, what business was doing, and some of the activities here in sustainability and smart cities and so on. So a few months afterwards, I met who would be my manager here, who runs a solar company. So I moved here at the end of 2014 to lead the sales team for a solar energy company, which was just at the time that DEWA was launching their Share to Buy program. After a year and a half working in solar energy, I saw an opportunity in the electric vehicle space. There was some activity coming from the government, and I brought a model, or I tried to bring a model here that I've used in Europe many times, which is car sharing. So I worked hard to try and launch a car sharing platform using only electric vehicles. That taught me a great deal about electric vehicles and the industry, and slowly evolved into what I'm doing now, which is the electric vehicle road trip movement.
And I'm Brigitte Lebanon. I hold a master's degree in energy management from ESB Europe, and I worked in the oil and gas industry in Dubai with Shell and Mujasa. I went into my master's program really thinking that I had done the best choice in the stainless industry. The price of oil was $110, investments and projects in the field were at their peak. Even in Lebanon, we had talks about having oil and gas in our basin, so I really thought that I was doing the right decision. And I'll go back home and find a job in my industry and maybe in my lifetime resolve the electricity problem. But little did I know that the oil price is going to drop to historical lows, and that will affect personally in my job, and it became a turning point for my life. So I then got more time to think about my career and the energy industry in general, and all it has given us really, but the damages that has caused also along the way. So I also got involved in sustainability work during my university years and my teenage years in UN programs, and I really always had a love for our environment and our planet, but I was never given the chance to make a difference or make a change in our society until we created together Global EDRT.
I'm originally from the UK, and after completing my English studies degree, I initially moved into arts events, working in production, marketing and communication. However, a passion I've held since I was a child in issues of international development and the environmental sector slowly began to take over. So I actually moved into the charity sector. I was working and volunteering for NGOs such as WaterAid, Greenpeace and Friends of the Earth. And my years with these organisations really taught me a lot and really drove me to want to get involved in a more hands-on project that was facing climate change so that I could see with my own eyes some of the extreme effects that climate change was causing so that I could come back and better communicate these issues. So earlier this year, I actually moved to Nicaragua for 4 months and I led a project on sustainable livelihoods that was in response to climate change. And we did things such as, in this photo, building eco-stoves, we were building water filters and doing a range of outreach projects with the local community there. It was a fantastic project. We worked hand in hand with the local community, with sharing local knowledge with a small NGO that was based out there. I came back from that experience I had in Nicaragua feeling even more kind of passionate about these issues and wanting to continue to fight against climate change and pursuing solutions for more sustainable societies. So in Global EVRT, I can see a way that I can make a direct difference to our society's carbon emissions, which is of course one of the biggest affecting factors to climate change globally. And so I joined the team to help curate the narrative of sustainable living and communicate the importance of lowering our carbon footprint through sustainable transport. So of course I'm sure many of you in the room are very familiar with climate change, so I'm not going to tell you too much new information, but I did just want to set the scene with a quick reminder of some of the facts that then of course lead into our work. So climate change, of course, is one of the biggest challenges that our planet is currently facing. The extreme weather patterns are threatening our food production, threatening our homes, our safety. They're contributing to the migrant crisis. They're driving people into poverty, and they're costing over 300,000 lives a year. Temperatures here in the Middle East are at great risk of reaching uninhabitable heights. However, with a more positive approach, if we can dramatically reduce our greenhouse gases, largely carbon of course, then the rate of destruction to our planet's ecosystems and in turn our livelihoods can be reduced to a more sustainable level. Transport contributes at the moment around 13% of these greenhouse gases, which of course is bad enough, but the rate at which it has been increasing is so rapid that it's at risk to contributing up to 50% by 2050, and 2/3 of that comes from road transport. So, transitioning to electric vehicles could therefore dramatically reduce our carbon emissions, and especially, of course, if the electricity is sustainably sourced from renewable energies, which is becoming increasingly more popular in this region in particular. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were at the Intersolar Middle East conference, where there was a really exciting buzz around the big investments in solar energy in this region, and the reality that solar could very soon be making a huge contribution to our national grid. So we feel that the electric vehicle road trip is a perfect tool not only for accelerating the market of electric vehicles and transitioning the UAE to a lower carbon economy, but also pushing forward this approach of more sustainable living into our daily lives, in which we're engaging the government, the corporations, and of course the wider public as well.
So what have we done so far? We organized the first EVRT in London last year, where we drove 2 Nissan Leaf cars around the city, and we prepared for a whole year for the European event that took place in April this year. We drove Tesla cars, traveled more than 10 cities over 3,800 kilometers, and we were very impressed by people's reaction and very happy to see them really interested in learning about the cars and the technology.
That's right, yeah. I think one of the main bits of value that you get from this trip is so many people are engaged and you're able to expose so many people to the amazing technology of these cars. Along the journey we also stopped off in Paris, London, Madrid, Paris, London, Turin, and Berlin. Berlin, where we have conferences similar to this on energy, on sustainability, and electric vehicles. What I'll do is I will show you a video from the European trip to give you a bit more of an idea of what we did in Europe and what we can do here in the Emirates in January. So I think the guys at the back will have to press play on here. So that's what we have done so far, and that's what we did in Europe in March this year. And now we're working very hard to organise the first ever electric vehicle road trip here in the Middle East, which will be the Emirates EVRT 2017. We'll be travelling around the 7 Emirates over a 4-day period. Also next year we've got the European EVRT again, and then we move on to India for the first time in August.
Which is a region we're of course really excited about moving into, as at the moment India is the 4th largest emitter of greenhouse gases, but the government are really dedicated to working more towards sustainability, so they made a commitment to create 100 smart, sustainable cities, and India have also been producing their own electric cars, which we're going to use on the trip.
Absolutely. So I'll just take you back to the Emirates EVRT and how it looks. Actually, sorry, in the last few months there's been a lot of activity already and lots of hype, so I'll just show you one video from the Intersolar Middle East exhibition that we were at a few weeks back. So if we can press play on that. We're here today at Intersolar Middle East, where we're launching the Emirates Electric Vehicle Road Trip. Around 7 Emirates, showcasing the best of the region's innovations and technologies. Yeah, so what that video shows, I think, is how much excitement there is around this trip. It was similar in Europe, and I think living and working here for a few years, I really felt that this should be the next place that we run the electric vehicle road trip. There's lots of activity here, and there's a big movement, and there's such a buzz around these topics. So the way that the Emirates Electric Vehicle Road Trip will run in January, it will be a 4-day tour of the 7 Emirates. We'll be starting in Dubai, a sustainable city near Al Qudra. We'll swiftly move on to Abu Dhabi. Then we head up to Fujairah. Along the way we stop off at Al Qudra, where there is a 30-megawatt solar park. We'll have a tour of the solar park, charge some of the electric cars using the diesel charging stations that are there. And then we'll head on to Fujairah. Fujairah is where we stay for one night. We'll be building a charging station there. In Fujairah we'll be doing more leisurely activities, so we'll be doing some scuba diving, we'll be enjoying the hotel there, taking in some of the best bits of the UAE. Then we head up to Ras Al Khaimah, where we'll be building another charging station, enjoying again some of the leisurely activities, some hiking, driving the cars in the mountains. The next day we drive down to Dubai. We stop off in Rumakway, in Ajman, and in Sharjah. In Sharjah we make a big stop-off point at the American University of Sharjah, where we're working with Shara to launch the Sustainable Transport Hackathon. Following that, we head back to Dubai, and the next day we have what would be one of the biggest parts of the event, which is the Sustainable City Conference at the Sustainable City. So for us, that's really a demonstration of the event and the uniqueness of it, that we take people out of the kind of conference hall environment and we actually bring them to the product and to where the action happens.
And this is a stop I'm personally very looking forward actually to it, because when we visited the Sustainable City, we were very impressed by the work they had done using renewable energy, PV, recycled water, plantation. So that would be really nice to show our participants how they can contribute to sustainability. So mainly our event is broken down into 3 elements. First of all, we're showcasing that you can live and drive in a sustainable way without compromising on speed and comfort. Second is educational through all the conferences that we will be doing in different stops. And last is fun, because we believe the best way to engage people is through excitement.
So you've seen how the event can achieve some of the objectives. Something we really want to communicate with the market is that this event itself, we believe, can help kickstart and accelerate the electric vehicle industry here in the UAE and some of the other markets that we're operating. So we see the electric vehicle market laid out like this. There's many pieces of the puzzle, but the 3 main pieces are the government and the regulators, the car dealerships, and the consumers like you and like me. So currently in the UAE, we see some great initiatives coming from the government at the top end. So we see charging stations being built, hybrid taxis being incorporated into our taxis that we use on a daily basis, and even electric vehicles are being purchased by government organisations. So DEWA now have around 15 Renault Zoe cars and 2 Renault Kangoo vans, so they have electric cars and electric vans. So this creates some activity and sends signals to dealerships that maybe the market's gearing up for electric cars. And car dealerships need to understand this so they can forecast their sales and feel confident to bring electric or hybrid cars here. However, one of the big pieces of the puzzle we think is missing is the demand from the consumers. So us guys here buying the cars, demanding the cars, and sending those signals to the dealerships that we would like to have these cars. So by running this event and by exposing many, many people to electric cars through test drives, through demonstrations, we really provide a large audience with the information they need so that they can make the informed decision of whether they would actually like an electric car. Because currently not many people have seen one. It's the same in Europe, it's the same here. So once this event happens, and even in the run-up we've been doing lots of events where people can see these cars, there's a general buzz, they want to know more. So what happens then is these people phone up their dealerships or they go along to the showroom and they say, hi, you've got the Tesla, you've got the Renault Zoe, where's the Nissan Leaf? And unfortunately now the showroom will say, sorry, we don't have them. Renault actually has it. So this demand from the market signals to the dealerships that there's demand from the market. And the dealerships, as business works, they will then supply to feed that demand. So they'll bring electric cars here, and then the more electric cars here, you'll see them driving along Sheikh Zayed Road. Suddenly more people see them, and then they think, maybe I should get an electric car. So what you kind of see here is a circle, and this is how the market works, where there's demand, which triggers supply, and supply triggers demand, and so on. So we really believe that this event helps to kickstart and accelerate the market that the government is trying to move in.
Our event is mainly driven by our supporters and our partners, as you can see here. But I would like to draw your attention to one specific, NG. They will be supplying us with our charging stations in Ras Al Khaimah and Fujairah, and they will be able to help us build our UAE